We've talked recently about how to control weeds in soybeans post-emerge, especially if you have Roundup resistant weeds. But today we want to talk about really late season weed control in soybeans, a rescue situation. What are we going to do?
Well, okay, you can say, hold on. We aren't even close to the end of the season, and I realize that. There is a lot of time left, but the problem is in just a couple of weeks here, we're going to start seeing a lot of flowers in the northern part of the United States in our soybean fields. And once you've got that reproductive stage started in soybeans, there are quite a few herbicides that you really don't want to be using anymore.
Well, that are off-label even.
Yeah, they aren't going to be labeled, and even if they were labeled, you know, it probably wouldn't be the smartest thing, because if you knock some of those flowers off, you're taking a little bit of your potential yield away. And anytime we're controlling weeds, we're trying to improve our yield potential in the field, not take away from that. So we've got to really be out looking in our soybean fields to see, all right, what do we have that's coming? And you know, the other thing, Brian, is with a lot of these herbicides that we're using now, the weeds can only be 2 or 3 inches tall if we're going to do a good job.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Okay, let's say I got 12-inch tall Lambsquarters. What's my best bet?
Well, your best bet is to use something like Harass. That's going to do a nice job on Lambsquarters at 12 inches tall. Good luck, because as we mentioned with growing points earlier in the show, you've got to kill every single growing point all the way down. You've got to have great coverage.
That's right. It's off-label. You're probably not going to do it, but that's your best shot. Okay, let's say I got great big ragweed. Okay, giant or common.
Well, with either giant or common ragweed, I like First Rate the best, but what I would do is use First Rate and Flex Star. Both of those products have some activity on either of those 2 ragweed species, and if you're mixing it with some Roundup and Roundup Ready beans, that would be the way to go.
How about Velvetleaf? Big Velvetleaf, can I get that?
Absolutely, you can. Cadet and Resource would both be good options for you. I like the Resource a little bit better when I'm rescuing in corn. In the soybean side, either Cadet or Resource will do a nice job.
All right, and then the #1 Roundup resistant weed around the country is pigweed. I'm talking water hemp or Palmer pigweed. What am I going to do with that when it's 12 inches tall?
It depends on what you've done earlier in the season. If you've already used your Flex Star, if you've already used something like Prefix Down, now you can only use it once. Then you've got to switch to Cobra. So I would use Flex Star if I can, but if I've got great big ones, I'm going to use the high rate of Cobra.
Yep, but let's keep in mind again, you're probably not going to get 100% control. So I wish I had better news for you. That's why Roundup got so popular when it came out with Roundup Ready soybeans, because we don't have great rescue options. I wish we did. So otherwise, I guess you got to get your kids out and start pulling, like Darren and I used to do.
We've certainly done that a lot right here in this field, Brian, actually.
Unfortunately. Well, rescue situations can be difficult on the farm, and we also might have to rescue for our Weed of the Week. We'll tell you how to do it coming up next.